Okay, Umar, you take over. I'm just stepping away, okay?
Okay. Salaam. So who is waiting for Farooq has joined. iPhone is Farooq.
Yes, sir. Walaikum assalam, sir.
Okay. Then Mehtab is yet to join.
I will just check with him, okay? I'll let you know.
So let's do a quick recap of yesterday. Who tried making that class which I had asked to make by the name mobile, right? Did any one of you all try? Yes? No?
No, sir. I didn't.
See, this is the most important concept in the entire Spring Boot classes and objects. So if
Yeah.
we will
I will try today, sir.
try to be a bit casual,
Yes, sir.
time will have very adverse effect on the entire training. So try to take classes and object sessions very seriously.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Anyone else
Yeah.
apart from Amir also has not tried? Okay, no worries. I'll be back in a minute, guys. We'll continue. Okay, I'm back, guys. So yesterday we had just taken a small demo of how to create a class and how to create objects of that class, correct? Okay, now let's do further details. So how, so let's recap. What is the golden question, Farooq?
Create class.
Why do we create a class?
Yes, sir.
What is the golden answer for that?
We
For
can
making-
create class for multiple-
For making
Create
one or
objects.
more objects. Yes.
Create its object. And why do we create an object?
To use the
So we
functions.
can call the methods.
So that we can call
Yes,
the
sir.
methods of that
Yeah.
class. Every class has data and methods, right? So if I want to call the methods of that class, I'm talking about this diagram. So how many methods does this class have? Yes,
Two method.
namely,
Get study info and display study
Yes,
info.
study.
okay. So if I want to call these methods, I will call them via
Object.
object. Okay, got this?
Yes, sir.
So there is a condition apply over here, which we will do later on. And sir, is it always mandatory that to call a method you will need object? Is it always mandatory that to call methods of a class, we need its object. What is the answer for this? Yes, no, maybe?
No,
Why no?
you can call function without objects.
How?
You can call directly. Maybe I'm not sure.
Yes, the answer is correct. It is not mandatory.
Yes.
You can also directly call the function directly with the class name. So directly if the class name is student, I can say student dot get stud info. This also is possible, but this is only possible for those functions which are prefixed with the keyword static, which are prefixed with the keyword
The keyword.
Static.
static. Only
Static.
those functions, static functions,
Okay.
have this privilege that they no need to create a object
Object.
to invoke these methods. These methods can directly be called with the help of the
Static.
so
Class.
later on we'll cover this. So someone can park this in his or her notebook or whatever notepad you all have made. So you can park this. Sir, you had discussed something called static. We have not covered that yet. So we will cover that also. Okay. Then when I call get student info with S1, there is roll number in this get student info. There will be roll number, name and percentage, correct?
Yes, sir.
So how do I know that it is pointing to S1 or S2? The question which I guess it was Mehtab who raised it or Ataullah who raised it yesterday. So how do I know that it is belonging to which objects? How will I check that? Yes, guys. So if in this method we have roll number and S name, so to which object is this roll number and S name pointing to? Yes. How will I come to know?
Class name is mentioned with dot S1. That's the
No. I will call this when I call this function get student info with S1 object.
okay.
S1 dot get student info. Then these roll number and S names are for S1.
Mm-hmm.
And when I call this function get student info with S2 dot get student info. So if I call the function like this, S2 dot get stud info. So this roll number and S name will belong to
Is called directly when attribute is also mentioned with static keywords. If
No,
attribute is start
Park
with
that, park.
private, then how you call it?
No, you park the static. No, don't divert now in static. Private
Okay.
is not a problem.
Okay, fine.
Private is just normal. Private, public is normal. Okay.
Mhm.
Where these are visible, I'll show you now. But I'm asking.
Sir, yesterday we make the program in which we add the scanner new, the input from the user. So automatically first one is the S1 and then the it will ask for the S2.
No, that was not the case. This was our program, was it? See, this was a program. Yeah, so which was you were in which package yesterday?
Class demo.
Class demo, sorry. Yeah, class demo. Okay, we went class demo. So Farooq, these two objects we had made, correct?
Yes, sir.
The order of the application is determined by the main method. So first
Yes.
created object S1, then main created object S2. Then with which object did I call get student info?
S1.
S1. So it went to that method. It went to this method, correct?
Yes.
Correct, sir.
So here it asks for enter roll number. So if I enter roll number 101, It was scanned and put into the in the RNO variable. Whose RNO did it put it? Is my question.
S1.
Is a roll number.
So roll number of which object? Both the objects have roll number.
S1.
Yeah.
That's the one, sir.
Yeah. So that because of that it came into S1, not because of scanner. Are you
Due
getting?
to the sequence. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In the hierarchy in which order in which you call the methods, that determine.
Got it, sir. Exactly. Yes, sir.
Okay. So going back to the screen, do I have anything to share it with you all that? Okay, yeah. So when I call S2 dot get student info, this roll number and this S name will point to whom? S2 roll number and S name. Because in the function it is written only once. Because in the function it is written only once. Function this is written only once, R number and S name and per. Now, who will it belong to? Will be determined by which object calls this method. Okay. So now I call the same method using which object? Using which? S2. So now that roll number and S name and percentage will point to which objects? S2. And similarly while displaying, so on and so forth. Okay. Now, as Shabana put forth, that what does this private and public significance? Okay. So if I make over here private, what does this signify? What changes will happen? And if I make it public, what will happen? So yeah, I'll take one more example. Okay.
So if we make the public, then we can make the changes in it, or if we made this private, so we cannot make the changes in particular object.
See, I'll give you a real world example. Then we'll come to the programming example. Okay. Have you heard of a residence by the name Mannat? Very famous residence in Mumbai.
Yes, sir. Shah Rukh Khan.
You all know that, right?
Yes, sir.
SRK's residence, right? So who all stay over here?
Shah Rukh Khan's family. Sir.
Okay. Shah Rukh Khan's family. So let's say, and this is a multi-story. You know, there are multiple stories in it. Let's say it's a 10-story apartment, a 10-story private building. So the below 2 or 3 floors are just for the parking. Okay. So below floors are 2 floors are for parking. Then 1 floor is the reception area. So receptionist over here. And above that is all Shah Rukh Khan's personal. So in every floor, you might be having something unique. Okay. 1 floor, you might be having the gym. Next floor, you might be having some dining hall, party hall. 3rd floor, you might be having a local in-house cinema theater. Then a swimming pool on the 4th floor, XYZ. So this green part and the red part, if I segregate, so the outsiders have access to this part, the parking and the reception, and only the insiders have access to these floors. Is this making sense to you all?
Yes, sir.
So who are the insiders of the house? Shah Rukh, his wife, his 2 kids, right?
Family.
Okay. SRK, wife, kids, right? So they have access to the entire complex from here till here, head to toe. But outsiders have access only to which part of the complex?
Public part.
The
Only
public.
for use the reception parking and the
Okay, so let's call this as a public part. and let's call this as the private part of that complex. Okay. Now, what SRK has done is all the servants, they live in the same compound, okay? They don't come from outside. So the maid, the gardener, the driver, the cook. So he has allotted them quarters in the backyard, and they all stay in the very same compound. No one comes from outside. So they are on Shah Rukh Khan's payroll. So there are no excuses that didn't turn up for work because they stay internal. So this is the quarter allocated to the driver, okay? Make sense? So, but Mannat is this complex, okay? This entire is Mannat's land, but that bungalow is famous for this very structure, right? These are not even shown. So if there is a documentary made, they don't even show this part of the house. This is just hidden.
Right.
This is the main structure which is highlighted in all the photos. So if you Google it, they will show you this structure. They will not show you this in backyard. But they are there. So one fine night, 2 kids are born in this compound. One kid is born over here. They name him Aryan. And one kid is born over here. They name him something. They name him whatever, Raju. So this kid is named Aryan. And this kid who is born over here is named Aryan. Same day, same time, but in 2 different rooms they are born. So, sorry, this is not Aryan. This is whatever name you can give, Raju. So now my question is, after 18 years, when Aryan goes to college, and after 18 years when Raju goes to college, will they enjoy the same privilege? Aryan
No.
might be the most costliest car that time. Aryan might carry the most costliest phone, which is there that time. Aryan might wear the most costliest clothes, which are there that time. Might have the most costly accessories, which are there at that time. Yes or no? And Raju might wear
Yes.
normal clothes. What if this kid was also born inside Mannat and Shah Rukh had a twin, let's say? Now what? Now would they both enjoy the same lifestyle? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
So where you are born, where you are created, does that have? So if Raju's father is a driver, he's born the driver, right? So Raju's father is Shah Rukh's driver. So one fine day, he comes home, too tired. He says, son, can you just go and park this car? I'm not too tired to go there. And remember, Shah Rukh's briefcase is there behind. He forgot it. So please go and give the briefcase to sir. So till what area can Raju come and access Antilia?
Yes. Public area.
He can come to the parking and park the car. Yes.
Yes.
He can take the briefcase and will. So if Shah Rukh is in the gymnasium working out, will he take the briefcase till the gym and say, sir, you had forgotten the briefcase in the car. My dad has asked to deliver it. Will he do that? He'll park the car
No.
and he will deposit the briefcase with the receptionist. That, sir, I had forgotten this car. I've forgotten this in the car. Please give it to sir. Yes or no?
Yes.
Instead of that, he does not have access. Correct? Okay.
Correct.
Aryan wants to do go-karting and he tells, okay, empty the entire parking. I want to do go-karting. Or I want to fly kites on the helipad. So he also has a helipad on the rooftop. He has a helipad and it is the season of kites in India. You know, January is the season. So he wants to fly kites over there. Can Aryan go and fly kites on the helipad? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
Can he
Yes.
play in the parking, hide and seek?
Yes.
So if he is born inside, he has access to every nook and corner of the complex. As Raju is born outside the complex, he has access only to
Public area.
Public area. So you have to see where the object is created. So this is my class starting from here, line number 3 to line number 26, the class bound. So if you see over there, no, it shows over there, Mannat land ends. Some of the people who go and take a photo, no, they show over there, Mannat land ends. Okay, or just they show over here, Mannat ends. XYZ. So where did the class start from and where did the class end? Line number, which line? Is this visible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Which line is the
3.
class starting? 3. And which line is the class ending?
27 or 26.
26. If I create any object over here on line 29, that object is Raju object or Aryan object.
Raju object.
And if I create any object inside this,
Aryan object.
Aryan object, so that object has access to all the data of the class, private and public directly. So now my 2 objects which I have created over here, these are which objects?
Private.
These are which object? Raju object or Aryan object? Just answer me in these 2 words.
Aryan object.
Raju.
Aryan.
Yes, let's see. Everyone, let's take a poll. Who said Amir said Aryan, right?
Yes, sir. Aryan.
Okay, Amir says Aryan. Okay, let's. Who else?
Aryan, sir.
Amir says Aryan.
Aryan.
Is Aryan. You all say Aryan then. I guess Mehtab and Fataullah, what do you all say?
Yes, sir.
Aryan.
Aryan is there.
Or Aryan. See, all are wrong. Mutually, all are wrong. See, I said, where does the class get over? At which line?
27.
So only 3 to 27 is the Mannat complex.
Mhm.
Outside this is all just the land of Mannat, not the complex. Okay. So if the object was created over here, then you could have told this is my Aryan object. Okay. But now these 2 objects are created outside the class student. Are they made in the class student? Are these
No.
objects created inside the class student or outside the class student? The application is different, sir. They are made in the college application. I'm not talking about the college application. I'm talking about the class student. One application can have many classes. So I'm not talking about is it made in the application. I'm asking, is it made in the class student? Yes, no.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
No.
Yes, sir.
These objects S1 or S2, are they made inside the class student or outside the class student?
Outside.
Outside. So when they're made outside, then what will they be? Which object? Aryan or Raju?
Raju.
Aryan.
Raju.
Raju.
Raju, sir.
So Raju has access to which part of the class then? Of Mannat?
Public area.
Public. Yeah.
Only public.
Yes.
So Raju can access only public. So can Raju access get student?
Yes.
Yes. Can Raju access display student?
Yes.
Yes. Can Raju access roll number?
Yes.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Amir, you please sprinkle some water and then you join. Is roll number private?
Public type.
Public, sir.
Public. It's public. Raju can access.
Raju access this directly.
Mhm.
Yes, yes. Sorry.
Okay, can Raju access this directly?
No.
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 Why no?
Private type.
It's private areas.
Private.
Object is created outside the class, so it is outsider object. It has direct access only to the public area, as discussed in detail yesterday, right?
Yes.
The constable who had come up for passport verification, he is outsider or insider? So he has access only to.
Outsider.
So he has access only to
Public.
public.
Public area.
So if I want an object which can access the private data directly also, then what to do? then create that object inside the class. Now S3, okay, now let's take a demo. So if I try to access the S name directly with the outside object S1, will it allow me? If I come here and say S1 dot S name, see, it is not visible to it. And I say over here, whatever. Is this permissible?
No.
Why no? Answer is no, right? The answer is correct. Answer is right. Now give me the explanation. Why no?
Because sir, S name is private.
S name is private.
Object.
Object you have create object
Yes.
which you are using it is created outside the class.
Yes, sir.
Outside of the class. Yeah.
And it does not
Outside of the
access
class.
the private data directly, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now the same thing I do with S3 inside. Now S3 is made where?
Inside of the class.
Now if I say S3 dot S name, will it allow?
Yes.
Why did it allow?
Inside the class.
Inside the class. Okay, got the difference?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so object can be made inside the class also and outside the class also, and that will dictate what that object can have direct access to. Make sense? Okay, so this is what point I wanted to get out of the. Okay, now one more thing which I wanted to explain was in classes and objects. What was that thing which I wanted to explain? Okay, now, yeah, very important discussion. Okay, this is so very important discussion. I hope you all are documenting this as per your own understanding. So the examples what you gave, so I related that with the example which I had in mind, and so I'm understanding it better. Okay, so try to relate things with the way we. Okay, so here my question is, have you all seen those advertisements outside complexes which says coming soon, opening shortly? Have you all seen these
Yes.
banners? Coming soon or opening soon? Have you all seen such hoardings?
Coming soon, like
Opening soon.
movies almost.
No, not movies, not movies. I understand that there is movies also. I'm talking about
The opening soon is restaurant or
there's a restaurant. Yeah, there's a restaurant, and then okay, there's a building.
coming soon word is not used for restaurants.
Coming soon is not used for restaurant. Okay, let's not say coming soon for restaurant. Okay, there is a restaurant. There's a work in progress behind. Okay, you can see that laborers are working over there. Some interior work is going on, and you see coming soon, and below that you see Gold's Gym. What do you see? A very famous franchisee. Okay, it might be in the US also, right? Farooq?
Yes, sir.
Very prominent franchisee in the US also, right? Ronnie Coleman's Gym, I guess this is.
Sir, I don't have a chance to look at this. I'm sorry about that, sir.
Yeah, so this
Maybe.
is a famous franchisee or gym. Okay, so we have a lot of branches in Pune also of this gym.
Yes, sir.
It says opening soon Gold Gym. Okay, so this banner was put up in January, and it normally takes 6 months to complete a building or renovating a building. So now when in June, when the building would open, what would you see? Would you see a hospital? So when the curtains are moved and all, no, when there's a construction site is there, they have a lot of restrictions. There's no entry for the normal citizens. So now when they do the opening ceremony of that, and when they invite the citizens, so we are astonished to see that they have opened a hospital over here. Is this the case? Or they have opened a school over here? Or they have opened a college over here? Does this happen? That you are promoting that you're going to open Gold's Gym,
No.
but you have opened something else. Does this happen? Do they prank you all?
No.
No, right? So what would ideally open in June when the promotion says
Gold Gym.
So you'll see a gym over here, right? Correct? So my question is, this is the banner. What is this? You know what a banner is? The marketing banner we have.
Yes, sir.
And this is the actual structure, right?
Yes.
Sense to you all? Are these two things making sense to you all? What is the green part and what is the red part? Are you able to differentiate between them? Can anyone explain it to me, please?
What, sir?
What is this banner and what is the actual structure?
Banner is the coming opening soon be not is open and actual
Banner is the
after open.
object, and
Green
the
one
gym
is
is the, yes, the gym is the
Okay.
attribute.
Okay, so if I have a budget of $1 million, okay, to run this business of a gym, how much amount will I spend on the banner and on the actual building? Banner, my friend can make it for free also, right? So if I have a friend who is into this marketing business, he'll say, for you, I won't even charge anything. It doesn't cost much. It is just a plain piece of paper on which I have to print anything. So you might even give it for free also, right? But
Yes.
Right.
is there any civil engineer friend of you who says, hey, you are my friend, I'll make the building free for you? No worries.
Hmm.
That
No.
charges, right? So one banner doesn't charge a lot, but the actual structure is costly. So I'll infuse the entire 1 million in the structure. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Compared to 1 million, this, even if I spend $2 or $10 on the banner, compared to 1 million, this is free only, right? Compared to 1 million,
Yes.
$10 is comparatively free, you will say, right?
Yes, it's nothing.
That it is nothing. Compared to 1 million, it is nothing. Okay. So my question is, if there is a building which is in work in progress and they have a banner showing over there, opening soon Gold's Gym. Has the gym open? Can people come for workout from the next day? So this was put up on Jan 1st of Jan. Can I expect on 2nd Jan people coming in and starting working out?
Yeah.
Yes, no, maybe on. Can I
No.
expect on 2nd Jan?
No.
Second gen, come and start working, sir. Oh, no,
No.
because
It will
here's
take
the
6 months.
June.
It
Okay,
will take
no,
6 months to complete the entire complex.
no. Okay, fine.
Interiors with
It's
all the
on.
machines fitting, machines tested,
Mhm.
all the washrooms, toilet, changing room, lockers, everything installed properly, parking space. So it will take time for the actual structure to be ready, right? But it doesn't take time for the poster to be ready. So if half an hour ago I come up with the idea of making a poster, I can make the poster, the banner in half an hour, right? But I cannot start the gym in
Yes.
half an hour. Is that making sense to you all? And if
Yes.
I put a banner of opening soon Gold's Gym, then it is a legal binding or moral binding on me that I open that only inside the complex which I'm marketing for. Yes, else people will not trust my brand in the future. So after 2-3 years, again I say opening soon Gold's Gym. People won't trust me. This chap, he puts Gold Gym and then he opens a school inside. So don't trust him. So what has been marketed, that structure will open internally. Is this making sense what I'm trying to say? And does the banner cost anything or does the actual structure cost?
No.
Right? So this is what I'm trying to say is when we make an object, no, on the LHS, what we have is the banner. And on the RHS, with a new keyword, object is created. Object is always created with the help of the new keyword. So this can be split into 2 ways now. This green part is I'm making the banner, and the red part I'm making the actual object. The actual object is made by the new keyword. Okay. So at times I don't want to do any pre-promotion. do the work, and directly I say that Gold Gym has opened over here. The day I am doing the opening, on that very day I am putting the banner. Do people do that also? Without any pre-marketing, on the day of the opening only they will put all the banners. So a shop has opened. On that very day, the shop opened. On that day, they put the name of the shop and what that shop would sell. So the banner and the structure opened on the very same day, correct? So this also is possible, and this also is possible that the banner was put 6 months before, structure was opened after 6 months. So this style of creating, so on the LHS is called as a reference. On the LHS is called as a reference. And on the RHS is called as the object. So object is called, so this is called as the object. So what we are doing is creating the reference and the object on the very same line. So what happens over here is this new will create an object of which class?
Student.
Student class. So what all does the student class have? What all does the student class have? Object will have the properties of the class, right? So if
Yes.
it's not in the class, it will not be in the object. So what will it have?
Data member or member of
These
member function. Yes.
Okay, so it will have this much, right? And
Yes.
it will have some address from where it will get memory from. Let's say it was address is 1000. Who will point to this 1000? Who will point to this 1000? That is S1. That is,
S1.
so S1 is that reference which is pointing to this object. Am I understood? So the memory is for the object. A reference does not require any memory. Who is now able to relate with what I'm trying to say?
Can you repeat it, sir?
When I create an object, student S is new student. We wrote this line, correct?
Yes, sir.
So what this line does internally is it creates an object of which class?
Student.
Object
S1.
is created by the new keyword.
Yes.
New keyword creates the object of the class which is following that keyword. So which class is following new keyword?
Student.
Student.
It will go and create an object of that, the red color structure over here, you see?
Yes.
And as the object is of student class, it will have all the attributes of the student class. So what
Yes.
are there in the student class? Roll number, name, and percentage, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And who will, then each object will have an address. So what is the address of this object?
1000.
1000. Who will point to this? Who will point to this object? What reference?
S1.
S. I've used S over here, no?
Student.
S is the reference which will point to this object, this location. So using this reference, now I will access these elements. So S dot roll number, S dot name, S dot person. So where this S is pointing is a
Percentage.
student class object.
Yes.
Reference, I will access the elements of the object. Who understood this? So this
I understand.
this process can be split into 2 steps also, like this, the 1st Jan and the 1st June. So I can also say student S, has an object been created? Has an object been created?
Yes, sir.
No.
No,
No.
sir.
Is
No.
created the new keyword.
Reference only.
It's only a banner.
Reference is made. Only what is made?
Banner.
Reference.
Only
Banner.
banner is
Yes.
made.
Reference.
Not doing any memory. Only banner, only reference.
Only banner, yes, sir.
But what is the promise that whenever S will point, it will always point to object of which class?
Student class S.
Student class. Whenever it will point in near future, S will always point to a object of which class?
Student.
So this was at line number 1, I made this, let's say, and then I delayed the object creation till line number 25. At 25, I wanted the object created. So what would I write? New student. Yes or no?
Yes.
It will make a object for me. Now, who will point to that object now?
S.
S. So I can say S equal to new student. Now my agreement has been fulfilled. My promise has been fulfilled. I had promised that S, whenever it will point to a student class object.
Yes,
I have
sir.
made the object and now I made S point to it.
Yes, sir.
Makes sense? Yes, Farooq?
Yes.
Can be
Yes.
done in 2 steps
Yes,
also.
sir.
Okay. Okay. Now this site is complete. Okay. This site is complete, but this poster is good in shape. It has not been torn properly, neat and clean. So I wrap this and I keep it safe. After, let's say, 2 years, I plan to open one more gym. Okay. The franchisee was a very big success and I'm getting good enrollments and getting good inquiries also that please open in our area also. So if this was at address 1000 or this was an address San Francisco, then I get that please open in New York also. Okay. So I open the gold gym over there also. So there also I can use this banner to point because banner is the same, right?
Yes, sir.
Opening
Yeah,
what?
right.
For that
Gym.
market, I can use this, correct?
Mold.
I can use the same banner to market this product also, right?
Yes, sir.
So,
But
Yes.
date will be changed.
huh? No, I have not.
Date.
I have not given any date. Yeah. Ataullah, Mehtab, I have not given any date. So we have made the banner wise.
Address will change.
Yeah, but the reference remains the same. The address will change now. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now in the near future, now I make this object S is now who's S? S is pointing to where now? 1000, correct?
Yes, sir.
And now
Yes.
I put values in this. 101 Alice and percentage 78.5. Now this is done. Now in the future, I plan to make one more object. I plan to make one more object. So I will say again, new student. Yes or no? Let's add line number 75. I plan to make one more object. So I say what? New object, new student.
Yes.
Right? Now I say new student. So what will happen? It will make a object. So memory given to the object, right? So it will make one more object, but at a different location, right? Because each object address is unique. Address does not duplicate. So one object is created, but at a different address.
Roll number, serial name.
Okay. At address
Percentage,
2000, correct?
student name. Yes.
And it will also have those attributes, roll number, and by default it will have roll number as 0, S name as null, and percentage as 0.0.
0.0.
I can use the same reference to point over here also. This is the beauty of reference. So what will I have to do over here? Just say what?
S is equal to new student.
S equal to new. Now the previous object, is there any reference pointing over there?
No.
This is now declared as garbage. This is declared as what? Garbage. And the garbage collector's broom will come and will wipe off this data. This data is not being referred by anyone. So this data is not accessible. Please collect this data so that we can reuse this memory space. Because now S1 is pointing to here. And this data will be marked as garbage, and randomly in nanoseconds, microseconds, the garbage collector service is running in the background. Like how police is patrolling the road. So whenever they see a car parked in no parking, that car is towed away, right?
Yes, sir.
that car had the police, the traffic police car passed by 10 o'clock, took one car. Again, it came at 10:15, took two cars. Again, came at 11 o'clock, took one more car, right? So they
Yes,
keep
sir.
on doing rounds of that area, correct? So the
Yes,
the
they're working
garbage collection
continuously.
is running in the background, and it is identifying which is that memory location, which is not marked by any, not pointed by any reference. Mark it and then collect that memory so that it can be reused. Is this making sense to you all?
Yes, sir.
So is the concept of reference and object clear? So what is the concept? Who can summarize it for me? What is reference and what is object? Yes, Farooq?
With a single reference, we can make multiple objects.
We cannot make, we can make a single reference point to multiple objects.
Yes.
But at any given point of time, it will point to a single object only. One reference simultaneously
Yes.
cannot point to multiple reference. This banner at any given point of time will be at any particular site. Getting a point? So like this, I
Yes.
take n number of objects, thousands and millions of objects. So at line number 175 also I had to plan to make an object. So I can reuse the same. Okay, can I do this? S equals to new teacher. Can I use this?
No.
This is syntactically correct. Why no? That you had
Because
promised
we
that you open
promised
Gold's-
to deliver only open a gym.
Yeah, you had
not a
promised that you open
hospital.
Gold's gym, but now you're opening a school. Is that possible? Is that permissible?
No.
You had promised that whenever S will point in future, it will always point to student class object. How can you make it point to teacher class object? Not permissible, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Okay. So here also there's an asterisk. Okay. So I'm putting the asterisks over here so that you all can mark them down and later on raise a question. So remember you had put that we can access the class directly with we can access the method directly with the help of the class name. And you had told something called static. Sir, we have not covered that. I had marked it in my textbook, in my notebook, that this is to be covered. So mark these points for future reference. So this also has a conditions apply. Now see, what is that condition apply? We'll take the example of gym only. So is there any business which has multiple ventures? In India, we have Reliance. In India, we have a brand called Reliance, which has multiple ventures. So it is into
Telecommunication,
telecommunication also. It is into
defense,
petroleum also. It is into
defense.
jewelry also, and it is into plastic and blah blah blah, many. Okay, but this will not make sense. Gold was a good example. Yeah, see, gold signifies what brand? It has a typical image of heavyweights on either side. So when you see the logo, no, it says someone is, there's a dumbbell over here like this, and this is over here also. Something of this nature, the logo of it is there, more or less. I'm not sure of it, but it symbolizes that it is a gym. Okay, like this, it is there, and written gold over there. So what is this famous for? So by this logo, famous for what?
Gym.
Gym.
Okay. Let's not go into. Okay, we know Nike's logo, right?
Yes, sir.
Famous,
Fine.
something like this.
Only logo is for enough.
Yeah, this is right. Okay, so if I see a board over here, opening soon, and I see this logo, what will I think to myself? What is going to
Nike. Nike
And a Nike
showroom
showroom.
will be open.
Nike showroom will open. Okay. So this was put on 1st of Jan. So put on 1st of Jan 2023. And it takes 6 months to complete the apartment. So let's say that complex got completed on this. And what I saw, which when it opened, is they've made a building for those Nike employees who lost their life while on duty. So they have given apartments to their widow or their dependents. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So Nike acquired the entire building and they have given residences to those employees who lost their life while on duty, while they were serving the brand Nike. So did they bluff me or not? Yes, no, or were they in their legal rights? They were fine. I cannot legally claim anything. Yes, no, maybe. But this building belongs to Nike. So did I overthink that they will open a retail outlet for shoes, but they have opened this? So who is right and who is not right? The customer or the brand? Or the brand is in its own sense, brand is correct. You cannot accuse the brand.
Yes, brand is correct.
Brand is correct, right? He did not tell that I'm opening a retail store. He did say over here, opening
Yes.
a retail store.
It was not promised.
Then that would have been against the compliance. They just told that this building belongs to Nike. And people, those who are living over here, they had someone who was related to Nike, right?
Sir, why they are marketing it as opening soon?
Okay, whatever you say. Say over here Nike soon. Okay, just put a building of photo of Nike. Okay, let's not keep Nike. Now,
It's only a symbol.
yeah, it's a symbol, right? So it can be anything. The owner of Nike might open, the house of the owner of Nike might open over here. Possibility or not?
Yes,
The
sir.
Yes,
sir.
possible.
possible. So anything with regarding to that brand should open, right?
Sir.
Either a retail store can open, yes, or something related, but it should be related to something Nike. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Then this banner is making sense. Am I understood? So likewise, no, we have inheritance. What we have? What is one of the features of OOPS? What is it?
Inheritance.
Inheritance. So in that, what we have? We have parent class and we have child classes. What we have?
Parent class and child class.
Class and child classes we have. Okay. So this is your parent, and a parent can have many childs. So child 1, child 2. Okay. Like if you see in your calculator, if you see the calculator of your Android or iOS phone, it is a simple calculator and scientific calculator. So parent classes,
Calculator.
calculator, correct?
Yes,
The children class are
scientific.
simple calci and
Simple. Scientific. Calcium.
scientific calci. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if I go to a shop and tell, give me a calculator. Okay. So if I say calculate, if I make a reference of calculator C, okay.
Mm.
So I can make object of the same class, or I can make
New
object of
calculator.
any of its parent, any of its children. This also is legal. This also is legal. So reference can be of the parent class also. This also is legal, and this also is legal. Who understood this now? Tell me. Yes.
Yes, sir.
What did you understand, Amir?
Child class can access parent class.
No. I did not go into that. I just went to the I'm teaching now reference and object. I'm just teaching reference and object.
It's a
Reference,
parent class object can access a child class.
Ulta. You're saying it the other way around.
Okay.
This is references of which class?
calculator,
class.
parent class.
Parent class, right?
Right.
So
Right.
references
sir.
of which class?
Parent class.
Of which class? Parent class.
Yes,
And object is of which new what? How do you know which is object, which is reference? Whatever followed by the new keyword then object, right?
yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Object is made of which class?
Parent class of
So
new.
what is happening over here? Parent class reference is pointing to parent class object. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I can say P new P. What I will call this as what?
Parent
I
class.
will call this as
reference.
parent class reference is pointing to.
Parent class.
Is it permissible?
Yes,
Very much permissible. And this is what we are doing. This is what we are doing, right?
yes, sir.
Reference also have the same type and object also of same type. Now,
Yes,
what is this over here now? Which class object is there? Line number this line.
The parent class
Object
child class.
is the object of child
Child
class.
object.
and what is the
Child
reference?
object. Parent
Is
class
the
reference.
reference
Parent
of
object.
Is
parent's class.
permissible. Is
C
it
symbol is
permissible?
denoted to a reference of parent class.
Is this permissible?
Yes, sir. It's permissible.
Very much permissible. Okay, and this you will use a lot in your real development. So when you start with your real world training, your actual project training, you will see a lot of this. That's
Yes, sir.
the reference and the object is not matching. But the reference will always be of the which class? Parent class. Very much permissible, very much used, very widely used. And what do we call this? We call this as PPUC. We call this as what?
P.
P. P.
New
B,
C.
C.
Means what?
From the child class, C.
So how will we read this? Red.
Parent.
Class reference
How will
called
we read this? Red color. How will we read the green color? Who will tell me?
parent class reference is pointing to a child class.
So see, I'll do the
Parent.
I'll do
Parents.
yes, Amir, tell me.
Parents reference
Yes.
equals to object of child class.
So we will call this as parent class reference.
Yes, parent class reference.
Parent class
Point to
reference
Into
is pointing to
child
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 class.
class.
no, the red one.
Red
Red
one is
parent
pointing
class
to parent
reference to
class
pointing
object.
to parent class. Yes, sir.
Parent class reference is pointing to.
Parent class object.
Now the green one, Farooq. Farooq, what is the green signifying?
Sir, parent class equals to
Parent class what?
the parent
Yeah.
class P is
Reference.
Reference.
reference is pointing to new class. I mean the child
Child
class
Child class object.
object.
Child class object.
Both
Yes.
are permissible. Both are permissible and both are used widely. Am I understood?
Yes, sir.
Can one reference point to multiple objects?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But when?
Inheritance. In if there is parent class and
Multi-level
child class.
inheritance we use here. Multi-level inheritance.
No.
No. Just not go into inheritance at the moment.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just
Child
Okay.
class.
one reference point to multiple objects.
Yes.
Planner
Yes.
will at multiple sites.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes, sir.
how? One at a time, right?
Parent class.
Next time.
parent class reference is pointing to a multiple child class?
No, my question is, if I have an object
Hmm.
and I have a reference,
Hmm.
now this S1 is pointing to this object. Can I make this S1 point to another object also? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes.
I think yes, sir.
So this is my question. Can one reference point to multiple objects?
Yes.
Yes, sir, but
at a
address
time.
will be changed, no?
Address will change. Yeah, address will change. This address object change, address change. Object
Okay.
change, address change.
Hmm.
So is it possible or not?
Yes, I
Yeah.
think.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
But
Yes, sir.
at a given point of time, it can point to only anyone, right?
Yes. Yes.
Mhm.
It can point to multiple objects, but at any given point of time, it can point to only one. Yes or no?
Yes.
So that
Yes, sir.
okay. Then we have something called as equal to and equals. These are quite ambiguous. So this is an operator. This is an,
Operator.
and what is equals? Is followed by round bracket. Means what? It is a
Method.
method. Correct?
Method, yes.
So in the interview, they ask what is the difference between them.
Okay.
In the interview, they ask what is the difference between equal to and equals. So simple question, it is very simple answer. Equal to does reference comparison. Does what?
Reference comparison.
Reference comparison. Okay, it can also be happen that if it is a large complex, I will have multiple banners, people coming in from all the four corners of the city are coming to my complex, as it is my grand opening. So I will put one on the east street, one banner on the south street, one banner on the north street. Is it possible or not? Have you all seen this or not in the marketing to market a product?
Yes, sir.
So can multiple reference point to the same object?
Yes, sir.
Yes, pretty much possible. Farooq, are you getting this?
What?
Can multiple reference point to the same object?
Yes, sir.
Now here there are how many references? There are how many references over here? Pointing to 2000.
One reference.
Three.
Three references, no?
Three, sorry, three.
S1, S2, S3, all are pointed to which
Yes.
object?
2000.
2000. Okay. So this also is a possibility that there can be multiple references but pointing to the same object. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what does equal to does?
The reference.
Reference comparison.
Comparison.
And equals method does content comparison. What does equal method do?
Content.
Content comparison. Okay, it will compare the content. Okay. So let me draw one more chart and explain this to you all. So if I do this, what is this? Tell me. String is a class. String is an inbuilt class. String is an inbuilt class. So what are S1 and S2?
S1 and
Two
S2.
different references.
References. Perfect. Absolutely. Spot on. So they are merely pointers. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But
Yes.
Yes.
what is the promise they have made that whenever we will point, we'll always point to an object of which class?
S1, S2.
Object of which class will they point?
Student.
Student.
No, is this student?
Sorry, string.
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 S1, S2.
So can I say now S1 equals to apple?
Yes.
So now
Yes.
object is created apple and S1 is pointing to that string. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Very good. And S1 is the one which is pointing over here. What is the address of this?
Apple.
Okay, let me make it more interesting. Okay. Making sense? So new will make object, and object will have an address. And now if I display SOP S1, what will it display me?
Apple.
Apple.
It will display me Apple. Making sense? Perfect. Okay. Now what I do is I do this now. S2 equals to new string and what happens over here now? One more object is created.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What address?
Different address.
Different address which
1000.
says Apple.
Apple.
Same reference.
Correct? Okay. Now who's pointing to it?
S2.
S2.
User pointing nowhere. Now the promise has been fulfilled that S2 is now pointing to object Apple. Making sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now my question is, if I do S1 equal to S2, what will it tell me? True or false?
S1 equal to S2.
Yes.
It's true.
If it's pointing to a reference, then it's false. But it,
So I'll just write that over here. Equal to compares the references.
okay, references, then it's false.
False.
Perfect. Absolutely. This is the confidence I want, Shabana, in the interview. Concurs the references and the equals compares the data. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
So, Farooq, S1 equal to S2. Where is S1 pointing to?
1000.
So is 1000 equal to 2000? True or false?
False.
So this will say false, right?
Right,
Yes.
sir.
So if I just print this much, what should be the output? If I say SOP, this will print true or false. It will evaluate this condition. It is true or false.
False, sir.
It will print me false. What will it print me directly? Making sense?
Yes, sir.
sir.
Yes,
And
sir.
now if I say print me, okay, now a little bit. Now if I say S1 dot equals S2, now what? Where the data where S1 is pointing to and the data
Answer
where
is
S2
true.
is pointed, is it equal?
Yes, sir.
So what does this give you?
Because his shows the data equalities.
So this will give you true
S1
or false.
dot equals S2 data is a apple both sides.
Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, if I say string S3 equals to S2, now what?
S3.
False, sir. There is no
S2
False.
I have not displayed
Yes,
after
is
that. I have not done anything over here.
equal to S2.
I have not done anything. After that, I am doing. So this is a new line. So what changes will happen in this diagram after this? A new
So
reference.
the S2 will
Yes,
become S3.
New reference is made, right? By what name?
yes, sir.
Yes,
S3.
sir.
S3. A new reference is made.
Yes, sir.
Where will this S3 point to?
2000.
Yes, S3 will point where S2 is pointing. So whatever is in S2 will be there with S3 also. So now how
Yes.
many references pointing to 2000
Yes.
to
to 2000.
two references.
Getting?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
And now if I say SOP S2 equal to S3.
Yes, sir. True.
Yes, sir. True.
True, because they both are pointing to the same reference. Getting?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes, sir.
This concept has to be understood very clearly. Let's try to do it practically. So things will be easier for us to understand. Okay. So very important topic, this is reference. I don't want to fidget with the existing code. I'll make a new class only, okay? By the name reference demo. And I'll put the main method.
Reference. It's reference and reference.
Here, reference. Okay, make sense? Reference. Okay. Okay. So we go to main. Now I'll just plant this code over here. So what was that code? I made how many references first? String S1 and string S2. Then I say S1 equals to new string apple. And then I say S2 equals to new string apple.
Apple.
Okay, they both are identical in spelling. And now if I say sys out S1 equal to S2, what is the answer, true or false?
True.
Who is this true man?
No, sir. Sorry, S1 is different.
True or false? Everyone,
False.
unanimously I want to hear our answer.
False, sir.
False, false.
False, sir.
Okay, proven. Okay,
Yes.
now let's try to now
True.
True.
what will I get the output as? False and true both, right? Because I'm not commenting. Should I comment this
Yes.
now?
True answer.
True.
True.
The answer is true. Okay, if I uncomment this now,
False. True.
Answer shows first false, second true.
false, true. Okay, hence proved so far. Okay, then I do one more thing. I
Yeah.
say string S3 and I say S3 equals to S2. Okay,
Yes, sir.
and now if I compare S3 and S2 with the equal to
His answer shows a true.
S3 and S2. So what will be the output, final output of this program now?
First false, true, and true.
False, true, true.
Yes, sir. According to me.
Yeah, no, it is right. Absolutely correct. Yes, no, no.
Yes, sir.
So did you all get the understanding what is a reference and how we can shift the reference from one object to another? Okay, now where is S1 pointing to?
Sir, may I ask a question here?
Yes, yes, please, Farooq. Most welcome.
Sir, what do you mean by commenting, sir?
Commenting is this, no? The compiler will ignore this line.
Readable by compilers.
So this line will become a
also
host
see
line.
it.
It will be there, but will not be visible to the compiler. This is called comment. This is called single line comment. And if you want to comment multiple lines, slash,
Yes, sir.
asterisk, and asterisk slash. Till here it will comment everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Sir.
Shortcut, what you can do is select the number of lines you want to comment. So if you want to comment line number 5, 6, 7, select them, control slash.
Yes, sir. It shows a single line.
And uncomment, again, select them, control slash will uncomment. Okay, Farooq, this is called comments.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay, now
Thank you.
where is S1 pointing to which object?
Sir, apple,
Apple.
string.
Now if I say S1 equals to orange, now what happens? Now what happens in the diagram?
It will become a false, I think, because the same.
No, we haven't tested that yet.
Okay, so apple become orange.
We have added this line at the end. So after adding this line, what changes will happen over here is my question. Anyone? So if you observe first the RHS, what is it? What is
First one is the apple and then replace with orange.
yeah, the same reference which was pointing to apple now will shift to orange. So what happens?
A new object.
No,
New object, very good. A new object is created now.
yes, sir.
Use new keyword. What is the object address now? 3000.
3000 and
1000.
orange.
And what will be over here?
Orange.
And who will point to this now?
Yes.
Who will
S1.
who will point to this object?
S1 reference S1.
What happens to
S1.
and what happens to this now? Copy paste or cut paste?
Garbage. Garbage.
This will be dragged over here, right? Okay.
Cut paste. Yes.
And then this apple, there is no reference pointing to it, will be termed as
Garbage.
garbage. And once the garbage collector broom will come and wipe this data because there is no point pointing to it. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct.
We can have multiple reference pointing to the same object. We can have the same reference pointing to multiple objects. Understand this concept very clearly. There should not be any confusion in this regards. Who understood what I said? We can have multiple references pointing to the same object, and we can have the same reference pointing to multiple
Different object.
at different point in time. So S1 was pointing to apple in January. Now S1 is pointing to orange in June.
Yes.
At one point of time, S1 will point to only a single object.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, this very important question, very much widely used, very much widely asked in the interview. Okay. Very much widely asked in the interview. So, what?
Sir, can we, hello?
Yes.
Sir, garbage can we use in the future if I need?
No. If it is garbage,
No.
it is dumped permanently. Then you should have not moved the reference then. Then good question, very good question. Then you should have not moved the reference. Then if you knew that I might use it in the future, then you should have made a new reference for orange. Getting it?
Yes, sir.
So once
Yes.
it is unmarked, once it is unmarked, it is at the risk of the garbage collector, and it will, whenever the garbage collector, and it runs in nanoseconds, in microsecond, it runs in the background. So once you have marked it, unmarked it, then it is no way you can get it back. Making sense? Okay, now my question to you all is one more very important question with references. What is this? Who will
Class
interpret
references.
this line for me?
String class reference as
Yes. Where is it pointing to?
is pointing to
So when it is not pointing, it is pointing to null. It is pointing to
null.
Null.
it is null is
By
the,
default.
by default it points null. Yes, very good. By default it points to where?
Null position.
Null.
Let's try to prove it. Okay. Let's try to prove this. Let's try to prove it. Is this understood? This part? You all want this
Yes.
to practice?
Yes.
Something it on the chat over here. Okay. You all can take it from this chat. Okay. So done. Now let's try to prove this concept, sir. Is it pointed to null? How do we know? So let's say I do have S and I say sys out and I say S1. So what should this print me?
Null.
What it is saying? May not have been initialized. It doesn't. So we have, it is not initialized at all. So what happens, for such cases? Now, if I try to display this, it is not pointing anywhere, correct? So these
Yes.
null pointer exception. What does this lead to? What does such
Mm.
those references which are not being pointing anywhere, and you try to use them, you will throw which exception? Very famous exception this is. Which one?
Null.
Null
Point.
null pointer exception. What is it called as? Null pointer exception. See, I'll show you here. Where
Can you
is this
repeat once
S1?
again, please?
Where is this S1 pointing to now? Okay. Where is S2 pointing to?
Null position.
Where is S2 pointing to?
New student.
You shouldn't, right? So then I can have S2 dot roll number equals to 101 if this is a RN object. Okay. And S2 dot, or if your number is public, okay, imagine the roll number is public and S name also is public. So is this possible? Now if I try to say S1 dot roll, S1 dot roll number equals to 102, will this work or no?
The direct access of roll number.
Yeah, imagine roll number is public. Imagine roll number is public. So the class,
Okay, so it can access it.
the class which
Directly.
you have made, the class which you have made, student, imagine they are all public. Okay, just for trial purpose, demo purpose, we are just hypothetically assuming, but do not make it public in the real world. Hypothetically, just for example's sake, I'm assuming that their roll number is public. So this is what the class is. Blah 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 methods also there. So my question is, what happens over here? Tell me. Try to understand each and every concept of this. What happens over here? I'll segregate them by line number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'll color code that line numbers. So what is happening at line number 3, 4, and 5? Yes, who can tell me what is happening at line number 1? You should be full confident in your answer.
Reference.
Reference.
S1.
Reference of which
S1.
class? Apple class or
And
class?
S1
String.
class is student.
Student.
Class
Yeah.
reference is made. Okay, so just a reference is made. And
Yes, sir.
now where is it pointing to?
It's pointing to null.
Null.
Null. It is
Yes,
pointing
sir.
to null. Beautiful. Now, line number 2, what is happening?
Line number 2 is a student creating a reference S2 and is
Object is
pointing to a object
object.
student.
Object is created by new keyword, so by 1000. And the class is there towards my left, so it has only 2 data. It has roll number and it has
10. Yes, sir. Roll number and name.
the reference which is
Also.
pointing to it is
101 and name is a license.
okay, and the reference pointing to this is S2.
Sorry.
Okay, now this is line number 2. Okay,
Yes, sir.
line number 1, line number 2. Okay,
Yes.
follow with me.
And line number
Line number 3.
shows a S2 reference pointing to an object.
The object which is pointed by S2. How will you say this? The object pointed by S2. So now what happens over here? The object pointed by S2, that object roll number will become
101.
101.
here. Okay. Line 3. And over here,
Object
Alice.
pointed by as
S2.
two is name like Alice.
Okay, now what happens? Line number 5 is the moment of truth.
Line number 5 is maybe true, say, because it's directly pointed to a object. It's a public type.
Okay, I
So
buy that.
it can access it directly
Yes.
object of this
So the
102.
object pointed by S1.
But we do not have object.
Yes, who's this? Who's this? Who just said will not have object?
Ataullah.
Ataullah. Yeah, Ataullah. Tell me. Good one. Guys, is S1 pointing to any object? Is a new keyword used?
No.
So where is S1 pointing to?
Null.
Null pointer
Does
exception.
null have roll number?
No.
So this will throw which exception?
False.
Null pointer.
Null pointer exception.
Okay, nice.
It is not pointing to any object, right?
Right.
Yes, sir.
Null. So does null have roll number and name? This
No.
was pointing to student object. Student
Yes.
object had roll number and name. So I initialize them. But S1 is not pointing anywhere. So
Right.
what will S1, what will this throw?
Null.
Null pointer.
S1.
So S1 is not, so you cannot access the attributes of the class using S1 because S1 is not pointing to the object yet. It is just a reference. So if I just put the banner and ask for subscription fee, okay guys, please enroll, they will say we don't see any structure. How should we enroll? Getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now,
Sir, here in S2, where does this 1000 come from?
this is the memory address. This is the memory location. This is
Memory allocation.
internally allocated. Like how garbage collector works internally. So internally objects are allocated memory also from the heap. From the memory area called heap. From that heap memory area, memory is allocated to the newly created objects. And once the
So
object,
it's
this is done internally for us. I'm just taking this rosy number 1000 internally.
random numbers.
Complex number it is. Internally, it is a very alphanumeric, very complex, such sort of numbers it allocates memory into. So I'm just, for your example, I'm taking some simple numbers. Each object will have some memory allocated to it. That the internal, they keep track of it. As a programmer, it is not our concern, at least for the new beginners. Once you get tenure and once you get experienced into it, maybe then we'll have to peep into the memory management also. But as of now, that will be too much of stress for you all if we go into memory management right now. Because we are at the infancy stage of Java, learning Java. Today is the second session of Java, right? So memory management, people dive deep once they are 3-4 years like tenured. Farooq, getting it, Farooq?
Yes, sir.
That is done. So our job is just to write the new keyword followed by the class name. Internally, how it is allocating memory, that is done by the JDK JVM internally. But you just have to know each object will have a unique memory location.
Got it, sir.
Okay. Now, if I want to eliminate this null pointer, what single line can I just put over here to eliminate the null pointer? What two options? What two options do I have? What two options do I have to eliminate the
S1 is equal to
S1 is equal to option 1? Very good. Option 1 is by option 1 you're giving is S1 equals to
student.
Beautiful. Perfect. And option 2, anyone?
So we can comment it.
Comment it is like if you become a doctor and someone comes, I have a pain in my finger. You will say, let's cut your arm.
S1 is equal to S2.
S1 is equal to S2. S2.
Mhm. Correct.
Yes, sir.
This object is already there, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Instead of pointing it to null, we can ask this brother, you come share with us. So we can invite this brother over here to share. So where is S1 pointing to now?
S2.
S1 pointing to
Object.
which one?
Student object.
Who is pointing, correct?
Yes, sir.
This we can do. This will eliminate the null pointer. And now when I say S1 dot roll number is 102, what changes will happen? What changes will happen? Where is S1 pointing to now? Which address? 1000.
1000.
1000. Yeah.
What is the roll number at 1000? This one, correct?
101.
This will overwrite.
Override. Yes.
Getting this?
Yes, sir.
This is how call by reference work. This is how
Call by reference.
use call by reference, no?
Yes, sir.
What we pass as an actual parameter and what we
String.
use in the function as a formal parameter, they both point to the same location. Getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
What are actual parameters, what are formal parameters?
Yes, sir.
When we call a function, let's say I am in void main. Where am I? Void main. In void main, I call a function called area and I pass to it integer. I pass to it r. This r is my actual parameter. This r is my, and then in the body of area, when I take the r, this r is my formal parameter. What's the difference between them? Actual and formal. What is actual parameter? What is formal parameter? The one which I pass as a parameter from the caller function is called as,
Actual parameter.
this is your actual parameter.
Okay.
And one which I take in the function is my f for function, f for formal. So remember it this way. Is my
Formal parameter.
formal parameter. So in your call by reference, know what happens is if I pass an object, so if I have over here student class object in my main, student S1 is new student, and I pass S1 as a parameter to the function. I pass what? So this S1 will come where? This S1 will go. So if I pass over here S1, S1 is of what type? S1 is of what type? Can S1 go into, can S1 go into integer R now? The actual
No.
and the formal parameter
No.
type. The actual and the formal parameter should go the same data type. So now can this S1 go into integer R? So what do I
No.
need to hold it over here? A reference of the same type,
String. Stringer.
not string, student.
Student.
How is it possible? Yes, no, maybe.
So S2
Yeah. Of what type? My
is a
question,
reference of a student.
what type?
Mm.
My question is S2 will be of what type?
Null type.
No. Always the same type. The type of the actual parameter and
Oh.
type of formal parameter should be same.
Mhm.
The actual parameter is of what type? What is the actual parameter?
S1
S1.
It is of what data type?
student.
String. String.
Student, sir, student.
Is
Are you on the same page which we are? S1 is of what type?
string type.
Student type, right? So S1
Yes.
will come into S2. So S2 also has to be of what type?
Student type.
Student.
The type of the actual and formal parameter should be same. The type means data type of actual and formal parameter should be identical. Should be. What is the difference between identical and same? A pair of shoe is what? a pair of shoe is same or identical?
Identical, but a
Identical.
different,
So like this, the two actual parameter and formal parameter has to be of the same type. So if I am passing S1, which is of type student, then I will hold it in S2, which is of type student. So this is your call by reference, correct? Because when I pass an object, it is called by reference, right? Arrays and objects are called by reference. Yes or no? Arrays and objects, and primitives are
Call by value.
primitives like integer, character, float, double. They are which type?
Call by value. Sir.
Primitive data type.
Primitive
Call
data
by
type.
value, right?
Yes, sir.
So I passed an object over here, S2. S2 is of what type? Primitive or non-primitive?
Non-primitive.
The non-primitive is called by reference, correct?
Yes, sir.
So this object will be same S1, and this S1 and S2 will both point to the same object called by reference. So the actual parameter and the formal parameter will point to the same location. This is what I'm trying to say. Getting it?
Sir, can I request here something?
Yes.
Sir, the class is now a little bouncing. Is this possible that we can continue it in the next session? We will practice this a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah. I sympathize with you. Yeah, this it takes a toll on the body. So yeah, we can take a pause over here. You all try to digest this much at least. Okay. Then we'll continue from here in the next session. No problem, Farooq. So till here you've understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, then no problem. Then I won't overburden you all. So try to understand and digest this much part at least. Okay.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. Anyone else has any queries, concerns? We have 20 minutes at hand. You all want a recap of any previous topic or today's topic? If you want, sir, can you explain that slide once again? We can do that also. Or any other previous topic you all had in mind that, sir, I had some issues doing this topic. I wanted to ask. So this is a golden opportunity. We have 20 minutes at hand.
array, sir, please explain 2D array. If it's possible, then
Yeah. We have 20 minutes in hand. We can do that. See, an array which has only a single index to identify an element is called 1D array. So if this is my array, to identify each slot, I have just one single integer value. So to identify the orange slot, which is the integer value you have, what is the index? Yes, ma'am.
0, sir.
0, 0, 1, 2,
0.
3.
To identify the blue slot, which integer value you have?
1.
One. A single integer can identify this entire slot, correct?
Yes,
So on
sir.
and so forth. But if your data is in a tabular format, table format, like how we have in SQL. In SQL, how do we have data in? Tabular format, rows and columns, correct? So this rows and columns representation is called 2D, which has 2 dimensions, rows and columns, right? This is 1D, has only rows. So now this representation has 2 dimensions to it. So the horizontal is called as rows. So how many rows do I have? How many rows do I have?
4.
4. And the
4 rows.
vertical are called as columns. So how many columns do I have?
3.
3.
3
How many,
columns and 4 rows.
how many cells will I have?
3.
How many cells will I have total?
12.
4
Well.
multiplied by 3.
Row multiplied by column, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So this representation now in array index always starts from 0, correct? So,
Yes.
so this is my which row? 0th row.
0,
Zero.
0 row.
First row,
One.
second row, and
Truth.
third.
Third.
And this is my which column?
0, 1, 2,
My which column?
1, 2.
The which column? 2 column. Correct?
Correct.
So now the cell I'll identify with 2 integers where these intersect. So now my orange cell, so yellow cell, where does the row and column intersect? Which row, which column?
3 0.
So
3 rows and 0 column.
always take the row first. Okay. So which index for the row,
3, comma 0.
for the column?
Yeah.
Okay, by this column, this cell,
1 2.
1.
1 rows and 2 column.
So like this, now you require two indexes to identify one cell, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
2D array, 2-dimension array.
Okay.
So what I will do is, if let's make a matrix. Okay, let's make a 3 by 3 matrix. So how many rows are there in this? How many rows? And how many columns? So how will I declare this array as?
3 by 3.
I will first give type of the array, which
3
is
rows and 3 column.
name of the array, which is matrix, dimension of the array, which is 2D matrix, then memory allocation to the matrix by new keyword,
Int,
what is the type and size.
int and 3.
Okay,
Okay.
the number of rows.
And number of columns.
So I can assign value to it
Yeah.
manually also by saying matrix, and what's now, you know the index, right? This is 0 and 2. And
Yes, sir.
this is 0 and 2. So now I want to assign over here 18. How will I say that? Matrix of which index?
0 0.
Matrix of 0 0 is equal
Equal to 18.
Okay, I can do it this like donkey work also, or I can do it. One second.
Smart work by users and taking value from users.
So matrix of, so this I can do donkey work, or I can do smart work. I can say for I equals to 0. These are the, for the outer loop is for the rows iteration.
I less than equal to size. Okay. You
Row
mentioned
iteration. And inner loop is for the column iteration.
J column J is equal to 0. J is less than size plus plus.
Okay, so now my question is, in the first iteration, what is the value of I and j? My question is, in the first iteration, what is the value of I and j?
I and J is the aging.
Sir, I is 0 and J is 0.
So SC dot next in.
So in the first iteration,
So
in
if
the
we take
first
here as a
iteration-
string, then what we do?
next, only next.
Okay.
So
Okay,
if-
fine.
If now in the first iteration, what is the value of I and j?
0 0.
0 0. So this number which I have taken from the user will go at which index?
0 0 is
0 0 index.
0 0.
yeah.
Second, so it will go at the 0 0 index, 18.
Mhm.
Second, what is the second iteration? What is the value of I and j?
I is 0
0
and
1,
J is
sir.
1.
No,
I
sir.
is-
The second one is a 0 1.
I is 0 0 0. The second is 0 and 1, right?
0 1.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
If you enter 45, 45 will go where? Here.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Then third iteration, what is the value of ij?
0 2.
2.
0 2. So if you enter 17, will go where?
2.
0 2. This is the 0 2.
Yes, sir. Last
Yes.
one.
Now in the next iteration, what is the value of ij?
I is 1 and 0.
Here again
J
becomes
is 0.
0. So now if you enter 75,
Yeah.
where will that go?
Okay.
1 0, correct?
Correct, sir.
Now if you enter 23, will go where? 23 will go where? 1 1, right?
1 1, right, sir.
And then
1 2.
likewise 2 0.
And next one is 2 1. 2 0 2 1 2 2.
Okay, so like this you will get 6,
Okay.
14.
And then, sir, what happened when we use a 3D in case of 2D?
3D, then you have to increase the number of matrices, increase the size. So 1 square bracket denotes 1D. So if you want to increase the number of Ds, then you increase the number of square brackets. So like this is 3D. And then you have to give over here also, whatever size you want to give. So what this arrays, multi-D arrays, no, what is the real world application of example, that will understand better what exactly they are used for. So let's say there is a wardrobe, and in that wardrobe a person has 3 drawers. There is a school, okay, there is a school or college. They have a cupboard. In that cupboard they have 3 drawers. So how many cupboards are there? How many drawers are there? How many cupboards are there? How many drawers are there?
3.
So just so 1D array, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so like this, they have 2 cupboards in each room. Like this, they have 2 cupboards in each room. So cupboard 1 and cupboard 2. So now tell me how many drawers do they have? We need count of drawers, okay? We are
Okay.
taking count of drawers.
Okay, 3.
Total. Now how many drawers are there?
6. 1 by 2. No, sorry.
How many drawers do this room has now? This is one room now. One classroom has 2 drawers.
Okay. And 2. Then 1 and 2.
So total how many drawers are there? This is a classroom.
6.
6, right?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So what I can do is now just keep on increasing the dimensions now. Over here. Okay. So this is a 2 rooms, each room having 3 drawers. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now like this, if I have 5 classrooms with the same configuration, I have 5 classrooms. So now my question is, how many drawers do I have?
15.
I have 5 classrooms of the same configuration.
Sorry. 20.
So now I'll have a 3D array. 5 classrooms. Total how many drawers? Now just keep on multiplying. 5 into 2. Just keep on
Okay.
multiplying these values.
10.
10. 30 total drawers.
I have total 30 drawers, correct?
Yes, sir.
So like this is 5 classrooms, right?
Yes, sir.
This is one school I have. Like this, in a city, I have 7 schools. I have 7 schools of such nature in one city. Now tell me, so of this configuration, let's say I have 3 schools. Let's not go. I have 3 schools of this nature. School 1, school 2, and school 3. Now tell me how many drawers do I have?
90.
Is it? I'll add one more dimension to it. How many?
90 draws.
Yes.
Is it? So 3 into 5, 15
15,
into 2
30,
into 3.
90.
So now if I am told to write a program to do the counting of each drawers or do something, then I will use a 4D array. This is called as how many dimension? So when I had only one cupboard, it was 1D. Then when I had 2 cupboard, it became 2D. Then when I had 5 classrooms, it became 3D. Now when I had 3 schools, it became 4D. So these 3 schools are in one city. These 3 schools are in one city. Like this, I operate in 15 cities. I operate in 15 cities. Then now 5 dimensions. You can keep on visualizing and keep on thinking. So dimensions will keep on increasing. So this is where the practically you can use the dimensions. But we don't go ahead. For us, 2 dimension is more than sufficient to understand. But you can keep on visualizing like this and dimensions can keep on increasing. Okay, so now once I have got it, or is 3D then?
Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
Okay, so now this is a 2D array, correct? So we just have. Now, if I tell you, display me the diagonal elements. These are your diagonal elements.
Yes.
Over here. So can you display that for me? What logic will you apply? For that, you should be knowing.
Sir, first row, first column, then first row.
This is what
Null.
index is, you should know. 0, 0.
0, 1.
1 0. Last
1, 1, 2, 2.
0, 2.
0, 2.
We have diagonal.
This is
1, 0.
1.
1, 1.
1, 1.
Okay.
2, 1.
2.
Sorry,
1,
1, 2.
2.
Okay. 2, 0. And
The 6, 1 is
2,
1,
1.
2.
So here we
And 2, 2.
use the logic. The first number of each it's a 0 0 1 1 2 2. We
Yeah,
need
so this
this.
So this is I. The first index will be I, and second index will be J. First index is I, second index is J. Now,
Correct.
so I run a for loop and I check if my I and J are same. Just display that element. Getting it? So I run a for loop.
Yes, sir, right.
And I say if
Condition.
my I is equal to J, SOP matrix of that element. Getting?
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, what if I want to display the elements of the upper triangle? This is the upper triangle. This upper sandwich.
Pyramid.
Yeah, upper sandwich you can call it. This is the lower sandwich. So what if I want to display only the upper triangle? 45, 17, and 6. So hint is over here. The first element is I, second element is J. First element is I, second element is J. First index is I, second index is J. Now what pattern do you see? What pattern do you see? 0, 1, 0, 2, 2, 1.
Yes, sir.
0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 2.
This is what?
Please
This
change
is
it to 1, 2.
1, 2, right? Not 2, 1.
Sir, it should be 1, 2.
Yes.
1, 2, yeah. Sorry, this is 1, 2. It should be 1, 2. So what pattern do you see? I is less than J always. 0 less than 1,
Yes.
less than 2, 1 less than 2. So if I want to draw the upper triangle, just my if condition will change with to what? If I is less than J. And if I want to display the lower triangle 1 0 2 0 2 1, then my I is
Greater than J.
That's all. Getting it, Shabana?
Yes, sir.
This is what 2D array is.
Nice logic, sir. Thank you.
Okay, then.
But
guys,
sir, we will be learning memory consumption in future.
yeah, we'll learn with memory consumption future. Yes.
Okay. So data type size.
Yes. Okay, guys, let's practice this much. I'll give you some assignments to do in some classes and objects. Okay.
Sure,
Guys.
sure.
Okay, bye. Take care.
Bye, sir.
Yeah.